Honestly, something really gross. This is a case that was dropped off to me quite some time ago, completely covered in nicotine and dust and dirt. Had a socket A and force 2 board in it that was unfortunately dead. No surprise. You just see how disgusting this thing is. So I pulled the board out, cleaned up, and tried to get it working, and it wouldn't work. But that's neither here nor there. I just had this case stashed for a while, airing out. And you see it's in extremely rough shape, and this was like a popular thing at one time, pretty expensive case to build in, but it was all crystal clear at one time. CCFL light tube in it. And you see we got a mess going on in here. So I've been looking at it lately and trying to figure out how can I repurpose this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to disassemble it. And you see there's a mixture of like Phillips screws, slotted screws, different size screws. Everything's a real fucking mess, but that's neither here nor there. I think I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna try to see if I can uh, use like the back of it and the side here with the motherboard tray and the back of it here, and try to make like a test bench out of it or something. See how well this cleans up. So let me get this on a tripod and I'll just start disassembling this pig. Alright, there we go. Got 3 essential parts. Now, just got to find out how well are they going to clean up. So I'll have to get some hot soapy bleach water together, and we'll come back and we'll see if they come back in crystal clear, or at least nice enough to work off. If not, then we can always paint it. Alright, so this thing actually cleaned up quite well. As you see, I got it all reassembled. At least the 2 parts that I'm using. I've got a power supply in here, and this is my nice it's a 665 or 650 watt Seasonic. And the nice thing about this one is we've got every connector we could ever need on here, including some Molex, a lot of SATA, just every connector under the sun. And I just left this full size for up to ATX, and got some rubber feet glued on the bottom. I've actually got 6 of them glued around there, and then underneath the power supply I've also got a rubber stopper just to keep this thing 90 degrees. I haven't got this motherboard attached. I just set this this socket 939 micro ATX I just set in there just for mocking up. But what I think I will end up doing in the future is probably mounting some kind of a drive bay. Maybe not, vertical like this, maybe like that, or the other way, but and also a mount for an AIO, so I can put a radiator mount for an AIO on here. But yeah, this actually cleaned up really well. It's big. I mean, I wanted to cut it down some actually, but like reroute the power supply, maybe mount this on something else with power supply under it. But I figured, you know what, fuck it, it's all already together in one piece, so I'll just find somewhere to put it, as big as it is. But yeah, it's like crystal clear now. You can't really see on the bottom too much because the countertop that's under it, but you see there's my fingers. This thing did come out literally crystal clear, aside from there's some scratches and scuffs on it, but it took a lot of dish soap, bleach, simple green and Windex, and yeah, it cleaned up really nice. So I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna try to figure out where to put this thing, and I've got a socket AM2 board now that I want to do some testing on. So I want to get that mounted in here and try and get this thing ready to go and find somewhere I can actually set it. Okay, so here's my little quarantine project, and it's final resting place. It isn't finished yet, but this is where it's going to stay. And I'm still impressed with how clear this acrylic cleaned up, how well it cleaned up, considering it was covered so bad in nicotine. And I've got my, you can see I've got my AM2 board in here, power supply. I still have to finish it up. I still got to get a hard drive enclosure for it and make some brackets for a radiator so I can just have an AIO mounted on here when I wish. And I wish I did right now, actually. I've got to get a different heatsink on here because this one's got a 4100 RPM fan and it's loud as hell. But you can see I've been just doing some thinking around, testing different things out on it, and it does make it so much easier to have an open test bench like this. So, anyways, I know this is quick and short, and I hope you guys found this interesting. And you guys stay safe out there, and we'll see you on the next one.